Would you believe it? It's Wednesday is going to be Hari Raya holiday, public holiday. Morning, Sue. Okay, um, we have a surprise for you this morning. Okay, let's get started. Now, 2 weeks ago, I spoke on solid belief, and I mentioned that we have three certainties about the new skin opportunity. Three certainties. The first was the certainty that we have the right business because of the people doing the business. We have high quality leaders who have been doing the business for 20 to 35 years. Okay? People who, when you look at them today, they're healthy, they're helping people, and they're happy. Okay? Healthy, helping people, and happy. Now, the reasons why they do new skin are not purely financial. A lot of people come in for financial reasons. Of course, it's a business, but the reasons why they stay on are not purely financial. And last night, on Success with a Purpose, Gary shared some non-monetary reasons why people do new skin. So it's such a timely message. Today, we have the privilege of having Bob on Motivational Monday before he leaves for Southeast Asia later tonight. Now, Bob has been around, he's a Yale graduate, MBA from Harvard, and runs his own hedge fund. He's very much respected in the financial industry. He was former chief investment officer of AIG in Japan. He spent 10 years in Japan, 10 years in Hong Kong, and he still runs his funds. Okay. Now, Bob was supposed to join me in this room at 10:45. It is now past 11, and Bob hasn't joined the room. There must be something happening because I can't get a hold of him. He's not answering his call, so something must be up. But let me talk a bit about. I was going to ask Bob. I was going to ask him that new skin has been a lot of hard work. It's not been plain sailing, even stormy at times. And Bob's been in the business for more than 25 years. And we want to find out, what does new skin do for him today that makes the prices he pays worth it? In other words, what is the non-monetary value that he's getting from this business? Because Bob is doing new skin every day. He gets up very early in the morning. He's trying to look after his health. He's battling from some health issues, or from the pneumonia he got last year. He's still affecting his health very much. But he's battling all these things. Traveling. He was supposed to come to see us in October, but he didn't because he was sick. But as soon as he's partially recovered, he came out here to contribute to us. And if he looks a bit tired at times, it's because really the previous illness has a high toll on him, but he continues to do this. And well, you will have to wait for him to to answer because he's not at this meeting. Well, so that's a surprise I've got also. Hopefully we will get an answer to what he's got to share. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm sure you didn't come to hear me, but Bob's been a blessing. What I appreciate about Bob is that he really puts in the work to be a professional in this business. He said there are two books that he recommends. The first is Eric Worre, Go Pro, be a professional. And Bob learns different scripts, the best from people, so that he can communicate most effectively. Last Saturday, I was asked to share about the career changes that I made from engineering to to insurance. And I remember when I went into insurance, I had a mentor who was the father of financial planning in Singapore. And he would have certain scripts that he would keep repeating. And so it was easy for me to memorize them. And I would, in MRT, I'd be learning these scripts, memorizing them word perfect, and so that I can communicate freely. We didn't use computers those days, so everything was drawn on hand. But when I master something, it's as if it's natural. I'm not stopping. I'm not thinking. That there is this flow, and that was responsible. That was what was responsible for me getting huge results. Because when I memorize something, I know what I'm going to say. I'm not thinking about what I'm going to say. I'm focusing on the client in front of me. Okay, I'm listening to what he has to say. So there was this illustration that they gave for us insurance salespeople, and that was this whole shelf of videotapes. So all my little presentations are in these little videotapes, and when I'm listening carefully, I know which videotape to take out and to push in. But it's important that if a person wants a cartoon, you're not giving him a horror movie. So even though you like horror movies, so very important that we still listen. So when you come up to someone like like Bob, who is full of knowledge, and you press the button, you could have a you could have a tape recording from A to Z, and you're looking for something closer to W, but you have to listen to A to Z, and of course, he doesn't have that much time, and you don't have that much time. Okay, so the responsibility is for you to go in there and ask the right questions. Okay, remember the 5 solid gold questions? It came from the book called Questions Are the Answers by Alan Pease. Well, questions are the answers. Okay. You need to ask the right questions, because when you ask the right questions, you will get the right answer. So can you imagine you climb the mountain, for days, climb the mountain, suffer climbing to the mountain to see this guru that's up there. To see this guru that's up there, and you ask him, he's had 50 years of experience, and he's coming here, and he's going to pour 50 years of experience to you. Okay, so it's important that you ask the right question. And remember, those of you who did Asia Works in the basic course, what do you want is the number one question. Okay, Bob is actually here.
I'm sorry to be late. I had to deal with something in the US, so kind of a family thing, but we're good. Sorry about that.
Okay, so we've got 5 minutes with Bob.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask Bob a question. Bob, you're dark. I can't see your face at all.
Yeah, back to it. Okay, is that a little better?
That's better. Okay, so the question I'll ask you, Bob, is Nu Skin has been a lot of hard work. It's a whole lot of hard work for a lot of us. I'm sure it's been a lot of hard work for you. But it's not been plain sailing, I am sure. Maybe even stormy at times. And you've been at it for what? More than 25 years?
Yeah, about 30.
Nearly 30. Okay. So initially as a user, and then you came on to build a business, and now you're really all hammer and tongs. So my question, and the question we all want to know, and this is fresh. This is not it's a current question. Okay, is what does Nu Skin do for you today? Okay, not why you came into this business. What does Nu Skin do for you today that makes the prices that you pay worth it? In other words, what non-monetary value are you getting from this? Because you were sick in October, you're supposed to come out. The moment you're half well, you're out here again, and obviously there is a price that you pay every day as well. Could you?
Yeah. So well, don't belittle the money. My wife is spending money to keep me working until the day I die. I think Jackie is much more. My wife, it's not frivolous stuff, but she's buying property, and I end up paying the HOA condo fees and things. some of these are just frightfully expensive. She's probably $150,000 a year to maintain. And so, okay, so, there is a money aspect, never, and if not, there are causes and so forth. I'm trying to launch a business on the Big Island around Hawaii around medical tourism, and to have that, the extra capital and not to worry about current income. And then, yeah, I mean, the story that, my finance business was turned upside down. We were losing $50,000 a month between a mortgage and losses on that business. And if it wasn't for New Skin, we would have lost our home, moved back in with my family, which doesn't go down well with the wife at all. So there was money, but that's better now, and that business is profitable. But I have some more business ideas I'd like to fund. I'd like to spend more on the Akamai program and pay the analysts more, so they'd be more motivated and so forth. So I have things to do with this money. Yes, we're saving it in my wife's property. She's Chinese Thai, so property. Anyway, so there is money. I mean, there are many things that are non-monetary. I mean, one of them is the community. We've talked about that. I came for the immunity. I signed on for the annuity, and we stay for the community. You develop a kind of a sense of responsibility for the people you bring in, just as you would your students or your children, and you want them to succeed. And you're going to, because you're a veteran and experience. And the key to this business, you originally asked me, what are the 3 keys to the business? And then we kind of pivoted to, why are you still doing it? But the key to this business is the third-party validation called ABC, Advisor, Bridge, Coach. No matter how competent we are, we're known to that prospect as an insurance salesman, as a hedge fund manager, as a mom, as a taxi driver. And so bringing in someone else, they're just like much more open. So that's really important. And, I'm, at least in Hawaii, I'm the one for the people who are building that, I'm the third party validation. I think I do a pretty good job at it. I don't put people off. Maybe I could be more aggressive in closing people. But I'm genuinely interested. You bring someone to me, I'm likely to find them fascinating, and I'm not there with a huge agenda. I think people are interesting. Don't worry about being interesting to other people. Just figure out what's interesting about them. I think people feel that, and that's part of building the community of New Skin. And then, coming, yeah, it's more tiring since I had the pneumonia. I'm operating at 80%. I'm more tired. We did a walk last night, you and I, into the park across the street, and I turned around pretty soon and head back. So it's more tiring schlepping your bags, but I still love it. I love the food. I love the team you built. So there are a lot of non-monetary awards in it, and a sense of responsibility to people, and a sense of mission. I think network marketing done right is the way, the business of the future, the Robert Kiyosaki, the business of the 21st century. And we owe it to the world to be the best we can at it and show that. So does that answer your question a little bit?
Yeah, there must be more.
Well, then they're the product. Okay. Yeah.
But what about your own personal growth, for example?
A good question. Your session on Saturday was about change, and I mentioned that. I was a terrible salesman for my asset management business. I was nicknamed Mumbles Howe, and learning how to politely, sell New Skin and enroll people in New Skin benefited me in that. I can sell ice to Eskimos in terms of financial products. I'm sure you had that already before you came into this, so you wouldn't have been the star at Prudential. But yeah, you upgrade yourself. Almost everyone who is successful in this business, they didn't start out being a team elite kind of character, but you build that, and you hammer yourself into it. There are a lot of great books. There's resources out there, and yeah, that's part of the journey. We become a better version of ourselves.
Maybe you've talked about how you've improved your skills. Character-wise, how have you changed? How has the business changed you?
I think I'm more empathic and less selfish. That's part of some of the trainings we do, and you just sort of learn over time to listen And if anything, I listen too much, and people will just go on and on and on, and you don't get the point made. But yeah, there's things, and then there are certain skills like the empathic listening technique for handling objections, feel, felt, found, which I was doing some training on that. So you feel like you don't like network marketing. Well, I felt the same way, but I found that working with James Chia, my awesome mentor, it doesn't feel icky, and we're building a tribe of people on a mission, and we'd like you to join our tribe. And you learn word tracks and ways to deflect objections that
Yeah,
will
before you came in, I told them that you're an expert at these word tracks. Okay, one last thing, Bob, because it's time's up. But one last thing. I mean, I find you. I find you've got a great sense of humor, not just because of the cartoons that you send out, the things that you send out, but you honestly do enjoy a good laugh. How do you find having a sense of humor helps you in this business?
Nu Skin really uncovers absolutely vital things about people's personalities, more than almost any business I've seen. And I always find there's irony in everything, and bringing that, it certainly, versus taking the dark view of everything is a better way to go through life. It's seeing the humor. Laughter disables people. Cheng Wei, you were at the thing we did on Friday night, and Cheng Wei used my script of a master criminal hunted down, and his book is banned in every country by the. I mean, people were scratching their heads and going, "Wait, is this true?" I thought he was like a double Ivy League graduate, and he's a mass. And that just totally threw people off. They woke up. When you are laughing, you can't sleep, right? If you want to get people to wake up, you gotta make them laugh. And Cheng Wei did a really great job on Friday, didn't she?
Yeah. Okay. Great, Bob. Thank you very much. In closing, I want to say thank you for coming out. Yeah, thank you for all your presence every day. We miss your 8 a.m. session, but we see you on the chat active, and that really encourages us. And as we want to push, this year, whether it's India or just the new opportunities, having people like you loving the business, believing in us, and just loving us. I mean, you have a big heart, Bob.
Yeah,
I truly appreciate you.
I do love you guys. Thanks.
I want us all to just pray a blessing on your health, that you will recover fully.
I do too. Thank you.
And you had dinner last night at my place, and you were turning away food. I was trying to feed you
cheese and foie gras. What the heck? You were like you're a very religious man. You were channeling your inner devil last night, tempting me.
Okay, Bob. Thank you, Bob. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Everyone wishes you goodbye. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.